In our practice today, we're going to do a few minutes of warm-up, and then I will teach a little bit about our Torah portion for this week, Tetzaveh, and then we will continue with practice until a quarter of the hour. If you need to go, that's fine, and if you're able to stay, our Q&A continues for another 15 minutes and is often the most lively part of our integration and a deep part of our practice, I will say. So if you can stay, that's great. I want to make one little announcement very intentionally too before we start, and that is we're going to be working on twists today. Notice how that lands with you. That might feel really pleasant and invited and great. For some, it might feel not my thing for others. And I want to say that twists can, if there are low back issues especially, and sometimes also in the cervical, in the neck, twists can be a challenge. So as I always say, this is your practice. This is not my imposition on you. You always have the opportunity to go at your own pace, at your own level, to do a little more, to do a little less. One of the beautiful benefits of Zoom is that you're in your own space. So if you want to stay with us to be in community, but do your own thing and change it up, that's great too. I know some more advanced students who do that and come for the Torah and the community and sort of do their own thing. So you do you, and really our practice is about listening deeply within. So I want to make sure to always state that you are in choice. It's your time and it's your practice with your own breath and your body. So take it as it comes for that. Let's begin on this 6th day of Adar. We're going to begin seated in the chair. So finding a comfortable seat, place your feet on the floor, let your spine rise tall. And just pause, you can close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable. And begin to land. Let the feet land. Let the sitting bones, the pelvis land in the chair. Feel yourself here. In the chair, in your own body. Allow the spine to rise tall, the collarbones to widen, the shoulder blades to drop down the back and to support the back of the rib cage. Let the breath flow freely. And as you come to a place of balance, balanced between right and left, between front and back body, just notice if there's any kavanah, if there's any intention that bubbles up for you today about how you want to be in practice, how you want to receive yourself and your practice today. Maybe a word or a phrase. It's okay if nothing in particular arises. Just making space to see if there's something that your most inner self is needing, is wishing for. And as you breathe in and out, you can allow that kavanah to just settle into the mind, onto the heart, and into the body as guidance for your practice today. We're going to begin with a little bit of cat and cow, arching and curling of the spine. I'll give you a visual model from the side so that you can see. As we inhale, rolling to the front of the sitting bones, letting the belly spill forward, the chest begin to open as the spine arches, the shoulders, elbows drop back, maybe the gaze comes up And as we exhale, rolling to the back of the sitting bones, letting the mid-back move back and the crown of the head come forward, making a C curve, all the air out. And then inhaling and arching, lifting, making space between each vertebra as you go, and exhaling, drawing the navel to the spine, curling it back. Keep this going in your own time, in your own breath. You may want to do it more slowly or more vigorously. The main thing is we're just starting to connect up breath and movement. Little bit of flow for the spine. Waking it up, making some length. Making some space for the discs in between each set of vertebrae. And then as you're ready, coming back to center, coming back to neutral, just find that equipoise of center. Feel that balance. Now we're going to take a twist. So coming to the right side of the chair, letting the legs swing over to the right. The knees are parallel, extending directly forward from the hips, and the ankles are directly below the knees. Inhale, tall spine. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the right and hold the back of the chair so that the right hand presses and the left hand pulls as we feel this twist. We're going to take it in and out a couple times. So as you inhale, come out of the twist. And as you exhale, draw into the twist. So it's a little bit like that center tube of the washing machine, the way it goes. The ribs are moving around the spine. And take it with ease. Just observing what happens, inhaling, release, lengthen, exhaling, spin into the twist, whole spine from the tail all the way up. So head, neck, eyes, the gaze follows the twist. A few times, and then you can come in and hold a little bit if you like. Extend the tailbone down, lengthen the tailbone, draw the navel to the spine, helping to lengthen the lower parts of the spine. And then as you're ready, release, swing around to the other side, legs to the left. Inhale here. Exhale, spin it to the left. Left hand pressing, right hand pulling on the chair. And once again, coming out on the inhale and coming into the twist on the exhale. A couple of times in and out. Just notice where you have freedom. Notice where there seems to be restriction. As the rib cage attempts to move around the spine. And then you can exhale and come in and stay and refine it a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone, draw the navel into the spine. Lift the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. To the extent possible, take the neck, the head, the eyes, the gaze with the twist. And then as you're ready, slowly release. We're going to take one more twisting variety. Bring the knees and feet together. We're going to twist right. You have a couple of options. You can stay up here, take the hand to the outer knee, or you can come down to the elbow or even towards the armpit, bend the elbows, press the palms together, prayer hands, okay? So as we prepare, we inhale and lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, we come on in, whichever option you choose. As you stay here, the inhale lengthens the spine. If you're in prayer, the palms are pressing together. Remember to keep the knees together. And as we exhale, we spin. And then slowly release. Whatever you did on the first side, you'll take on the second side. So inhale, length. And exhale, coming into that twist option. With the inhale, length. And with the exhale, twisting. Twisting builds a little bit of heat in the belly, in the system, in the core. And as you're ready, release. Take any movements or stretches you need as counter stretch. I'm going to share a few words. Today, the 6th of Adar. Next Monday night, Tuesday, will be Purim. So next Monday in yoga, we'll talk about Purim. So here we are moving into the month of Adar. Our parsha today is Tetzaveh. So we've crossed the sea. Parshat Beshalach, it's a mouthful. We have been released from slavery, right, into freedom. In the next parsha, Yitro, we received the 10 utterances, 10 commandments. In the following parsha after that, Mishpatim, we received the laws, beginning to coalesce, to understand societal norms. And then we began in Parshat Truma this past week, the instructions for building the tabernacle, for building a place of holiness, for building the Mishkan. So this week, Tetzaveh is the second of 5 parshiot. Really, it's like the second half of the book of Exodus that addresses itself to the building of this sacred space, this Mishkan, for God's presence. So the Israelites are starting to establish a sense of God's immanence versus God's transcendence, right? So rather than God just being out there, a concept out there who executes the 10 plagues, etc., God is now coming a little physically closer with this establishment of a physical space that can be carried through their wanderings in the desert, right? So the Mishkan helps establish God's right here-ness, God's immanence. This portion opens with a description of the Ner Tamid, the eternal light, the divine light that does not go out. And the word Tamid means eternal. It also means constant. So it's not just a one-time thing, but it's a lighting, a raising up of the light that we do over and over and over again. And I'm taking my inspiration for today's practice with twists from this idea of Ner Tamid and building inner light, heat, fire, and a space where the divine can rest. The portion goes on to discuss the Mizbeach, the altar, how to create that properly, about the incense to be used, about animal sacrifices to be made. But before that, most of the portion really is about the vestments for Aaron and the priests. And this Torah portion has no discussion of Moses. He's out of the story for this portion. It's all about Aaron. The robes, the tunics, the gemstones, sashes, headdresses that they should wear, all the textures and colors and fabrics, textiles to be used. And the Torah says that this is for lichavod, uletiferet, for kavod and tiferet, for honor and for glory. The JPS translation says for dignity and adornment. Right? So kavod, dignity, honor, tiferet, glory, radiance, beauty. I think that's where they get adornment, beauty. So some of the things happening in the clothing, we have the pomegranates and the golden bells that line the bottom of Aaron's robe that will signal his entrance, so that God knows when he's entering the Holy of Holies, so that he will not be killed for entering this place. The shoulder pieces with blue and crimson and purple yarns, and they're attached with stones, lizikaron, for remembrance of the Israelites. And then we have the breastplate of decision, the choshen mishpat, with the stones for the 12 tribes that should be carried alev Aharon, on Aaron's heart. And we have the frontlet, the tzitz, which is made of pure gold, and engraved on it the seal inscription Kodesh Ladonai, holy to God. So all of these very specific, very lavish, ornate details to help the priests do their job and play their role. And this is, of course, their outward appearance to the people. Right? But ultimately, it's about inner appearance and inner dwelling. The Torah says, V'shachanti betoch b'nei Yisrael, and I will dwell within the Israelites. Right? Last week we had the famous line, Ve'asuli mikdash, shall make for me a holy space, V'shachanti betocham, and I will dwell within them. So a riff on that, right? Again, we're hearing V'shachanti betoch b'nei Israel. So I shall dwell within the Israelites. I will abide within their hearts. So ultimately, this is about making a space for God to dwell within us, and to make of our hearts a tabernacle. So there's this interesting thing between what's outside and what's inside. You know, sometimes when I'm not feeling so totally myself or good on the inside, I will dress up a little bit more, maybe put on a nicer, more dignified outfit so that I can go out into the world to do my job in a way that feels grounded and right, in the same way that the priests or kings and queens have this regalia. And then I find that the reflection of my outer garments in the world, maybe I might receive some compliments or just feel good about it, begins to help on the inside, right? So there are a lot of messages in this portion. There's the ner tamid, there's this flame. There's, can we hold ourselves and one another with kavod and with tiferet, with dignity and with beholding the radiance and beauty of the other? Can we see each other like the frontlet says, kadosh ladonai? You know, imagine if we went up to another person and saw on them a reminder, kadosh ladonai, on their forehead, that they are holy in God's world, in God's creations. And ultimately our practice, V'shachanti betoch b'nei Israel, to make space for God, or however you know God or call God, whether it's source or divine space or intuition or any concept or words that come to you, how we create that. So that's what we do on our mat. So let us begin. We're going to start lying down. Can move the chair to the side. So what I want to ask you to do, if you have them, is take a block on its lowest level and just rest it, wedge it right into the side of your right hip. We're going to get to that in a moment. Take the right knee and hug it in toward the chest. You can keep the left knee bent, or if you'd like, you can extend the left leg long to the floor. Just feel the weight of your own body, and particularly the back of the pelvis, to the floor. Be received. Let the breath be slow and smooth and steady. And if you've got a strap, you're going to place it around your right heel and extend the leg up toward the ceiling. Right? So if you don't have a strap today, that's fine. Take hold of the calf or the back of the thigh. If you do have the strap, you'll press the foot into the strap, flex the foot and extend the leg up.
So we're working toward a straightened leg, but wherever you are in this, as sensation starts to build in the hamstrings, the back of the leg, the calf, Achilles, and keep a micro bend on that knee. Then we're going to take both sides of the strap into the right hand. And again, we have this block, if you have it, wedged here in towards the right hip. And take the right leg out to the right. So the block is going to let your leg rest. It may not come out as far as usual, but what it does is really supporting the balance of the hips. And supporting the outer leg so that you can stretch out through the heel and feel sensation through the inner leg. So you're getting some support and some alignment help from that block. And then we're going to inhale. As you're ready, bring the leg up through center. We're going to take that block on its highest level over toward the left side. Holding the strap now into your left hand with the right hand coming out to the side, begin to twist. Take that right leg over to the left. And here's where I want you to be careful and mind your own body. See how this feels for you. And so maybe the leg comes over such that you can rest it onto the block, rest your calf onto the block. Maybe it doesn't come that far. Right shoulder stays grounded. So this can be a big stretch. And as you come over, there's a twist, right? So the right hip is coming off the floor. And then as you're ready, come back to center. Release the strap, shake out the right foot, the right leg. And we'll take the other side. So, taking the block on its lowest level, if you have it, wedge it in there towards the left side of the hip. First, we're going to take the left knee toward the chest, give it a hug. If you'd like, you can extend the right leg long. And then we're going to take the strap around the left heel and begin to extend up toward the ceiling. Or holding with your hands onto the left calf or the back of the left thigh. If you are strap free. Okay, so that block is wedged here into the side. We take both hands, both sides of the strap into the left hand, right arm out to the right as a counterbalance, and take that left leg out to the left side. So feel the support that the block offers you. Extend out through the heel. Hip points are even. See if there's anywhere in the body that you can soften. It doesn't need to work so hard. Always treating ourselves with kavod, with honor, with respect. And then inhale, come back through center. We're going to take that block over to the right side. Put it on its highest level in case we need it over there. Take the strap, both sides of the strap into the right hand. Left arm out to the left as the left leg crosses the body and comes down to the right. Left shoulder stays down. Gaze is up toward the ceiling. And breathe here. Extending through that standing leg, that right leg. And then as you're ready, inhale up through center, release the strap, shake out the left leg, can give the legs a shake or a hug in or a rock from side to side. Just see what you need. We're going to make our way up to standing. Take your time. As you come to stand, I want to ask you to take your block between your thighs. We're going to do a set of 10 squats. For those, so your arms can come anywhere. They can come up to shoulder height. They can come up by the ears. If balance is a challenge for you, I'm going to ask you to use the back of the chair, or you could use a wall or a table, whatever you have with you as we squat, right? So you can use something for your balance, all right? So 10 reps. This is that ner tamid action to get a little fire going in the core, from the quads to the back of the hips, low back, to the core, the belly, the abdomen. We're going to inhale down and exhale up. Here we go. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale 2. Exhale, press into the feet and come up. And 3. 4. 5, sit it down. As little or as much as you like. 6. Gaze is forward. 7. 8. Navel hugging spine. 9. And 10. Okay, I got to turn my heater off. The inner heater got fired up. Okay, we're going to take the legs wide. You can place the chair in front of you, or 2 blocks, or maybe your hands will come to the floor. Legs are wide. Sides of the feet parallel with the mat. Toes pointing in just a little bit. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, fold forward, long spine. So hands to the chair, or hands to the blocks, or hands to the floor, coming forward. So you're pausing wherever you are. See that you're not hanging back into your heels. That's really common in this pose, right? So ankles in line with knees, in line with hips. Tail and crown moving in opposite directions. And then hands to the hips, press up, inhale up, exhale to neutral, and jump or step the feet together. We're going to place the chair in front of us. For those who are more flexible, you might want to use blocks instead of the chair, but I'm going to model with the chair. If you're using blocks, you'll put them on either side of your legs. Okay, right foot forward and left foot back. The right foot toes are pointing straight forward. The left foot, the back foot, the heel is down. The toes are pointing out 45 degrees. If this is challenging, which it sometimes is for the heel to lay down, you're going to want to put a little blanket or roll up the back of the mat a little bit to come under your heel to give you some support so that the heel is in contact with something. Right? So it would look like that. Both hip points facing forward. If balance becomes an issue, right, it's often true in this pose, you want to widen the legs out to either side. So you can make the legs as wide even as the mat. See what you need, right? So they might be hip width apart, but they might be wider. Take the hands to the hips, press the feet down, tailbone lengthens as we lift up and inhale, draw the elbows back. Exhale, forward fold from the hip crease, not from the waist. Hands to the chair or to the blocks, long spine. Be here and breathe. Take your right hip and gently draw it back.
So there's a tendency to go askew with that right hip. We want to draw it back. As if you could make a tray with 2 teacups, place it right on your lower back, and it would not fall or spill. And then come on up and we'll switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. See what your balance needs here. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold forward. And be right here. Just notice how it is from side to side. With kavod, with respect for this body, with tiferet, with a respect for the beauty of what this body can do, and also the architectural beauty of each of these poses with which we engage our chaverim, our friends that help us learn how to be in this world, how to invite God in. And then hands to the hips, inhale, lift up. And we'll change sides. Right foot forward, left foot back. Same thing, and now we're going to build on it and move into revolved triangle. So inhale, press the feet down, lift the heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Establish your length. And now we're going to move into the twist. So the left hand moves to the right side of the chair. We begin to twist the torso to the right. Right arm comes up if you like. Can also stay on the low back or on the hip, right? And if you're more flexible, you want to be deeper in the pose, you'll take your hand to the block on any level. Okay? You want to really find that length before you find the twist. Drive that back heel down. The gaze can be to the wall in front of you, or it can be up toward your fingertips, your right fingertips. See what your spine and your balance allow. And then slowly unravel and come on up. And we switch sides. As we do so, before we go to the other side, just a moment to think about this. This pose engages many, many things, right? We find the length, and then we find a forward bend, and then we find a twist. And within that twist is really a bit of back bending, because there's sort of an opening and an arching open. So we kind of are taking one element at a time as we go. And there's also a bit of aspect of balance too in this pose. So, finding our stability. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. And then beginning to walk the right hand to the left side of the chair, spinning the chest to the left. Length, twist, and then left hand can come up if you like. Gaze can come up toward the left fingertips if you like. Those who are deeper in practice might take your hand to the block. Breathe here. A few nice deep breaths, steady. Navel drawing in. Finding that sense of ner tamid, of eternal flame emanating from the belly. And as you're ready, unravel and come up. Nicely done. We'll come to the floor. And we'll take a seated twist. So, a few options here. You can bend the knee and take hands to the shin. And you might want something to prop up. I didn't mention it as a prop, but you may, if you have a blanket nearby, want your blanket. Right, so you can sit up and have the legs parallel. That's one option. You can cross right over left. That's another option. Second option. Third option, you can tuck the bottom leg under and you're sitting on both sitting bones. So choose which option you'd like to have. Interlace the hands, take them to the right shin. Inhale, press into the shin, lift the crown of the head up, spine tall. And as we exhale, we're taking a twist to the right. You can choose where your hand goes. Might be hand to the outside of the knee. It might be holding the knee in the crook of the elbow if you're going a little deeper. And if you're going deeper still, elbow to the outside of the knee, working on your twist there. If you're really feeling it, you can bind. As we go a little deeper. Feeling the length and lift of the spine on the inhale and the spin on the exhale. And as you're ready, release, come back to center. Take a counter twist to the left, just briefly spinning open. And then come on back. And we'll take the other side. So whatever option you chose on the first side, you can do on the second side, unless there are different requirements for the knees here. Hands to the left shin, inhale. And then as you exhale, spin to the left. Feel into it. And then as you're ready, releasing. And if you'd like, take a counter twist. Take a counter twist, spinning to the right. And then release. If you'd like a forward bend to balance out, you can go ahead and take any kind of easy forward bend, maybe crossed legs or your legs long. Just finding some length in the middle here after all this twisting. And as you're ready, settling onto your back in stillness. V'shachanti betoch b'nei Yisrael, and I will dwell within b'nei Yisrael. So now taking this moment to integrate our practice. If there are any last movements or stretches you need before you lay out fully, go ahead and take them. And settle yourself in. So maybe it's the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the floor. Maybe it's the legs long, more traditional Shavasana. Maybe you want to place a block under each knee. These are just several suggestions, options. Allow the palms to face up. About 8 to 10 inches out from the sides of the hips. If you're wearing glasses, you can remove them.
Release the work. Release the effort. Surrender even the breath. Just let go. A few minutes of quiet to feel how divine source rests within our own inner Mishkan. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Vasuli Migdash V'shachanti betocham V'anachnu nevarech Yah Me'ata ve'ad olam. Beginning to deepen the breath. Waking up the body again, wiggle the fingers and the toes. And take your time to make your way back up to a comfortable seat on your mat or in the chair. Just taking a final moment to seal our practice, to make a khatimah on our practice by taking one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Sitting with this verse, V'shachanti betoch bnei Israel.
And I will dwell within the Israelites. Carrying this into our week, this idea that we can make holy space, a tabernacle within body, breath, and heart. To recognize source, to recognize miracles, every moment, every day, to be with what is, to nourish this ner tamid within. As you're ready, release the hands. You can allow the eyes to open. Shavua Tov. So good to be with all of you. Please stay if you can for Q&A. And as always, if this time has been useful to you, there are a couple ways you can help. Tell your friends, bring a friend, bring many friends, let them know of IJS's offerings. And secondly, donations of any amount, small or large, always accepted, that help us continue our good work. So thank you for being with us. Thank you, Kat, for amazing tech support today and all through our programs. And you'll see in the chat a few links here again. Okay, friends. So happy to receive questions, thoughts about today's Torah, how it has landed in your body, in your heart. Feel free to raise your hand or put your question into the chat. What can you use instead of blocks? You can use a stack of books. You could use a coffee table. You could use, we can be creative. It should be solid enough. You don't want to just use pillows. Yeah, I think just look around your house for something that's the right shape. That's my answer to that question. A question, not sure how to wedge the block under my hip. Can you show us? I didn't mean under the hip, and I'm sorry if I wasn't clear about that. I really just meant like next to your hip and just close in, like really snuggled in, so that you can feel the support of it as you take your leg out to the side. So not under, the hips are still on the ground, sitting bones are on the ground. Thanks for that question. Good question. No hands raised. It's a quiet morning here today. Jody, let's see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for today's beautiful practice. I had tried to send the chat, but my phone isn't cooperating. Can you put a link in the chat for us for your teaching today? And I especially, I'm overjoyed actually, because I spend time with my faith community, with my Jewish community in a lot of different ways. And this morning, it struck me very, very seriously that my body is a temple. And I wrote about thanking God for putting that inner light and that purity and that energy in me. And I was imagining life piles on the gunk and covers up the light, right? So, lower my hand. So, my job is to continue to manifest, is to continue to find ways to peel away or wash away or brush away or something, sometimes a pickaxe, sometimes a feather, fresh wood that piles on top and around that light. and cuts us off from the sunlight of the spirit, if you will. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you for posting the link to your teaching.
Jody, thank you. I love that. Like the life covers us up with gunk. It's true, and we have to remove it. What part of the teaching did you want to link to?
Oh,
It was really just my own words.
it was beautiful.
Did you want specific verses or text of the
No,
song or?
I guess I really appreciated especially the way your words helped me integrate the Torah into my body,
Mhm.
and as helped me imagine, anticipated my questions in my head about alignment, my hips. So all of that kind of, it was integrated, and yeah.
Okay, so I would say if it's the whole teaching you want, of course the video is always available on YouTube. If it's the Torah exactly that you're interested in, we're talking chapter 27, verse 20, that talks about Laha'alot ner tamid. This is Exodus.
Mhm.
Um,
May I ask
and
whether
yeah,
which Torah you're using? Because I have a
I'm
women's
using
commentary, and I'm going to
I'm
go.
using GPS, but I
Gotcha.
mean the Torah is the Torah. This is the Pshat. This is going to be anywhere you find Tanakh.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then the bit about the clothes for Aaron being lechavod uletif eret, for respect and for beauty, is chapter 28, verse 2. And then the piece about Vishachanti betoch b'nei Yisrael, I will dwell within b'nei Yisrael, is
That was it.
29:45.
Okay. Thank you
So there you
so
go
much.
with that. You got it.
And then before I say goodbye, I just want to tell you that I'm playing King Ahasuerus in our musical Hörspiel, which is loaded with cross-dressing and hilarity, and to the music of Elton John.
Love it. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Ricky had something nice a little bit earlier. Let me find it. Cantor Ricky Lippitz. The fire within is a powerful concept, especially in countering the exhaustion of life. Say more. I think that Jody, you just said more about that, which was great. And I'm also blending traditions here, right? For those of you who know the chakras and the colors of the chakras, right? The third chakra is the solar plexus, and it's fire and power, right? And so, if you're thinking about the hara, right, the belly, the middle, right, we get a lot of heat from this area. And so I think we can notice sometimes when we're depleted physically, in that either the belly is a strong place to get connected to, and I think for many of us, myself included, it's a difficult place to get connected to, because we store a lot of emotion there and it can be scary. So and particularly this place, right? So sometimes we're overly hardened, sometimes we're overly softened to the like too spilled out all over the place, too diffuse, right? And so how do we find that balance, both physically and psychically, emotionally, between tone, right, and lax, I don't know what the word is, laxness, flat, not flaccid really, but like lack of tone, right? So I think we can really find cues there. And if, for instance, for those of us involved in pranayama practice, if you think about Kapalabhati, for instance, forced exhalations, that's a fire building pranayama, right? Something to really get in touch with that area. So I think that that inner light, a lot of it really comes from that place. That's the more I want to say about that. Kathy Ostroff. Here we go.
Your singing is just splendid. It touches me so deeply. Thank you. And I have to say, I'm jealous of your fluency in Hebrew, that you can just, talk off the cuff about the Torah portion and then, move into Hebrew, move between English and Hebrew so easily. I wish I'd gone to rabbinical school or clergy school. But I just, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just to enjoy it. Thank you.
You don't have to go to clergy school. I want to make a plug for the Hebrew language to work on your Hebrew. Anyone can do it. And just a little bit of personal anecdote here. I've been wanting to work on my Hebrew and better it for a long time. And it finally occurred to me like, oh, you could actually study. And I have enrolled in a course through a wonderful organization in Tel Aviv called Citizen Cafe TLV. And I want to make a plug for these guys because I've been doing it since the fall. It's online. There are people all over the world. It's a beautiful community, just like ours is very much about the Hebrew spoken on the street. And I'm noticing my own Hebrew get better and better. So they don't pay me for this public service announcement, but just Kathy to say, I support you in working on your Hebrew if and when and at any time you want. Just know that it's not a thing so far away. We can each of us always learn a little and get better, which is also why I want to push some of you who don't have the Hebrew to hold English and Hebrew side by side, or at least hear it, because it's a beautiful language. It's our holy language. It's our Lashon Kodesh, and I'm in favor.
Yeah, you had a good place, but you started at a good place to improve.
That's true. I started okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Elisa Feynman just put it in Citizen Cafe TLV. If somebody has a moment to go fish out the actual link. They're
Okay.
just great. They're wonderful people, and I know there are many, many other ways and organizations and modes in which to study. So
Thank you so much.
sure, of course, of course. Let's see, Daniel, and then we're going to end because we just have one more minute. Here we go. Dan, are you there? You just have to unmute.
I was gonna just say it in the chat, but it is my understanding that when you propose a yoga position or motion that is difficult to perform, we can just do something else. But I myself do not have much experience with yoga, and if I did, I'm very rusty. That
Right.
being said, how should I approach these situations? Like,
Yeah, great question.
for
Right. It's like,
example,
well,
what kind of poses or what should I do?
yeah, it's like if I knew what to do, I would do it. I think what I'm suggesting is if, we're obviously in a kind of a limited relationship here online and with so many of us, but I think, Danny, if there's something that comes up that is not, feels not safe or not comfortable in your body, just pause. The first thing you can do is just stand in mountain pose and breathe, right? Which is just kind of like coming back home, coming back to center. You can just come to even standing and breathe, right? Or you could put hands on and breathe so you can feel your own breath. And then beyond that, in the moment, you can just say, what might feel really good and right and delicious for me right now? Maybe it's a little side bend, which has nothing to do with what I'm teaching, right? Maybe you want to take your hips in a circle. It can be anything. And I would say, too, if you don't know what to do, just pause and breathe. And as you keep coming to yoga, as you keep coming and experiencing, you trust that you will build a vocabulary and start to know what you can do instead.
I do also have a question about the videos. I understand that each of these sessions gets recorded and put on YouTube.
They are, and maybe Kat can put that link for us before we close. And thank you, Elisa Feynman, for putting Citizen Cafe TLV there. Okay, there it is. Do you see it in the chat? Where it says IJS admin, that click is where they all live.
I was wondering if a particular thing from out of these sessions was also available. You were recently at a special event at Temple Bethel Beck Family Campus, and I attended and very much enjoyed that session. I was wondering if perhaps that was recorded. So
It wasn't recorded, but rest assured, you're not missing out. We recycle and re-practice just like we do in life. Everything we did together in Boca, over and over and over, we re-experience these movements. So what I hear you saying is like, I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on something. And we can just, I feel that all the time. We can just notice that like, oh, I need to catch all the information. And part of our practice is you can just trust it's there. You could click on almost any of the 70 practices that are now up there, which have been recorded over the last 2 years, and you'll get some good stuff. So
someone just posted that you teach privately most Sunday mornings, 9 to 10:30.
I do. So email me if you'd like more info. I can put you on the mailing list.
Good to know.
Awesome. We're at time now, and I send love to everybody. Have a great week, Shavua Tov. And next Monday, we're going to talk about Purim. So it's not going to be, what to say, your Bubby's Purim, right? It's not about costumes and kids running around in caramel apples and Megillah. We're going to talk about some deeper messages of Purim and put it in the body. So hope to see you next Monday or beyond. Stay well, sei gesund, and